Well, we mentioned Simulate Action has been very competitive this year. Alan Brannon took the opener, and Jason Giesemann round number 2. Those were the 2 nights.
All right, Simulate driver's going to speed it up here.
Non-points racing. Steve Kent, 2-time feature winner this year. Brian Kearns and Jason Stoner, both responsible for 1 victory apiece as we get our first green flag of the evening. All right, warm-ups for our Simulate drivers wrapping up. Again, when they come back out, they'll go through the time trial session to set the field.
Turn 2, stay low in turn 2, low in turn 2.
Group number 1 of late model sportsmen's wrap it up. We mentioned the 14 of Cody Brady. He's been on fire, so close to that first win, and he tops the board.
Turn 2, stay low in turn 2. Is out. Caution is out. Got a car stopped on the beginning of the backstretch. Stay high. Caution is out.
And group number 2 of our Booz Brothers Performance Crate Late Models wrap it up. All right, group number 1 of our limited stock drivers at 9:16, Samuel Reggets. He was the first driver out. He's the first driver on the board. As we wrap up our warm-up portion of our program, we get set for the opening ceremonies. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, could you please rise as you are able for our invocation to be followed by our national anthem. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for the gift of this day that you have given us. As we get ready to transition into the month of June. That spells summer, and I think for many of our fans that are in the stands, they're looking for some warmer weather. Please protect them tonight. It's going to be a frigid night, a lot of temperatures that'll be diving down in some windy conditions, but we thank you for all the loyal racing fans that are with us here this evening to see one of the best dirt tracks in the country and some of the best racers there are. Please tonight keep our drivers safe as they perform a great job out on the racetrack, keep their crew members safe in the pit area. And for all the members of our military out there, once again, no matter whether it's Memorial Day weekend, it doesn't have to be, any weekend and any day, please keep them safe as they continue to do their job to protect us each and every day in our country and in our world. We thank you so much for this beautiful day. We again thank you for allowing us to be here, and we please ask you to give us a safe journey on our way home, enabling us the ability to again be back here next Sunday to enjoy each other as friends and racing family. In your precious name we pray. Amen. All right, we're set to qualify. Here we go, 34, Brian Swiger out of Brunswick, Maryland. He'll be the first driver out. If you have not seen qualifying here, what we normally do when the driver comes around, he'll take the green flag and then eventually checkered. But as he goes back into turn number 1 and 2, the next car is going to be released, so we keep it rolling here in our time trial session. All right, 34, Brian Swiger kicks things off in simulate time trials here this evening. It will be a 24.956 to kick things off for the driver to Brunswick, Maryland. 83 of Brian Kearns, a one-time feature winner out of Cross Junction, Virginia. Next up on the racetrack, again, as you can see, as the driver takes the green as they go through 1 and 2, they release the next car out of the infield area, and we keep our time trials moving right along. Kearns working back to the stripe. His checkered flag coming out. He'll go tops on the board. 23.003 seconds for the Virginia driver. 65, Dylan Wilson, the multi-time feature winner a year ago out of Cassville, Pennsylvania. Now on track for his one-lap session. 25, Jeremy Mills out of Berkeley Springs, West Virginia will be next. Late model Sportsman, heat race number 1. We need you to the staging area. Late model Sportsman drivers, heat race number 1 to the staging area, please. 65, Wilson back to the stripe. He'll go tops on the board. 22.741 for the Pennsylvania driver as a 25, Jeremy Mills now makes his way out. Again, late model Sportsman, heat race number 1 will be next. Late model Sportsman drivers, heat race number 1 to the staging area, please. So Mills midpoint down the back straightaway, looking for his lap as a 70. Michael Grady out of Winchester, Virginia, also heading down onto the track for his one-lap session. Mills coming back for the checkered. Right now it's going to be Dylan Wilson tops on the board. Mills will check in fourth at 26.428 seconds. All right, 70 of Grady, first time out at the Hagerstown Speedway in simulated action, makes his way through turn number 1 and 2. 30 of Brady Neff out of Hagerstown. Looks like he'll be the next driver out for his one-lap session. Again, late model Sportsman drivers, heat race number 1 coming up next. '70 of Grady back to the stripe. He'll be third at 23.741 seconds. As a 30 of Brady Neff out of Hagerstown makes his way out onto the track for his session. All right, 30 of Brady Neff. He will come in third on the board right now. 23.123 seconds for the driver out of Hagerstown. Jeremy Pilkerton, Wes Bonebrake, the points leader. Ray Cable, the third, and Spike Moore, all the late model Sportsman winners in a very, very competitive field. And many more will be coming. 5 drivers set to do battle off of turn number 3 and 4. We get set for the first qualifying heat race of the night for late model Sportsman. Field off into 1 and 2, and it's going to be Breeden from the outside. Of row number 1, Atherton trying to thread the needle. He gets around DJ Myers quickly. Right on the rear deck lid of Brandon Barr, and as quick as we say that, he ducks to the inside, challenging for the number 2 spot. As coming off of turn 4, here comes Breeden. He has got already a good lead down the front straightaway. 94 of Bard right now in second. Myers of the 70J tucks it down to the bottom side, trying to see if he can get that runner-up position for the moment. 19 of Danny Atherton, and then the KB of Caden Barr. They round out the top 5 as they work it back into 3 and 4. Again, late model Sportsman, heat race number 2 to the staging area. Late model Sportsman drivers, heat race number 2 to the staging area, please. Well, nose to tail, second on back, and it's a turn advantage for Cody Breeden as he brings it back for lap number 3 of tonight's first 8-lap contest. 94, Brandon Barr, it's solid in that number 2 spot. He begins to open up a little bit of daylight over the 70J of DJ Myers. 19 of Danny Atherton, good run off of turn number 2. Myers got a little wide, and that opens the door for Atherton. He'll remain in 4th right now as Breeden brings it back for halfway. Second through 5th, still within a car length of each other position-wise, led by Brandon Bard. All the while, Cody Breeden opens up a turn advantage, putting that 14 back to the stripe. Bard remaining second, 2 car lengths over DJ Myers, still trying to figure that second turn out. He just swings it a little wide, gets loose, and that opens the door for Atherton, but Atherton just can't seal the deal on the other end of the racetrack. As the leaders get 2 to go, this time Atherton, he gets crossed up, and that opens the door for Caden Bard as he comes right up on the rear spoiler of that 19 machine. All the while, Cody Breeden checking out the 14. Good top 5 run, solid again last weekend. Takes the white flag in a first qualifier. Now, driver at a Fair Play, Maryland. He knows he's involved in a very tight point battle with Wes Bonebrake and Brian Booz, and Cody Breeden in the 14, checking in for a heat race win number 1. 94, Brandon Bard staves off the 70J of DJ Myers with Danny Atherton and Caden Bard making up the top 5. That 92 machine a year ago, Frankie Gordon picked up a win. Also, Justin Weaver out of Williamsport, Maryland, a driver we hope to see next Sunday in Super Late Model action here in the Saggy Tribute Appalachian Mountain Speed Week. They both won in that 92 machine 1 season ago. Another good-looking field of cars, 8 strong as they come back, 8 laps of distance. Green is out. Anderson takes him down into 1 and 2. Gordon quickly down to that bottom side. Lear has had some good runs early in that 99 BA machine. He tucks up into third. Going to be the 25K of Cable, but here comes the 151 of Kyle Lear back of the pack. He plucked off 3, threads a needle right up in between 2 to the outside of Cable. Almost got to the inside of Cody Lear, but he knocked off 4 drivers in 1 lap, up into 4th position. And he's going to get Cody Lear possibly, almost, if he had the door open. Cody got a little sideways trying to get under Frankie Gordon, and that slowed things up. So the 151 now begins to work the assault on the outside. Going to be Braden Anderson back to the stripe for lap number 2. Frankie Gordon in second. Going to be Lear now. Kyle up into third. Cody Lear back in 4th, and Cable right now the top 5. Anderson looking for a good run. The Bunker Hill, West Virginia driver. 3 laps in the books, and he's pedaling hard back to the stripe. Gordon's 92, 2 car lengths better than Kyle Lear. Another 5 or 6 back to Cody Lear. And then the 25K of Ray Cable as Lear begins to chew away on that rear deck lid of Frankie Gordon down the back straightaway. Looking for that opening, surging into 3 and 4 and grabbing the runner-up spot. Halfway was on the board that time by. It's about a half-turn advantage for Braden Anderson coming back for lap number 5. Kyle Lear from 8th up to 2nd. 92 of Frankie Gordon in 3rd. 99 BA of Cody Lear, and then the 25K of Ray Cable. Right now they're the top 5. Everybody getting a little strung out down the back straightaway here in the late stages. Closest battle for 4th. And Cable has been looking inside of Cody Lear. Can't quite make the pass. As 2 to go on the board this time by. Cable again with a good run. This time he'll get that number 4 spot down the back straightaway. Meanwhile, White is out. Lear is closing. Anderson still with about a 6 car length advantage as he worked back into 1 and 2 for the final time. Frankie Gordon, the 92, about a turn back in 3rd. Then Cable in 4th. Cody Lear in the number 5 spot. Lee Ziegler, 49, of Ray Ciccarelli. But off turn number 4, checkered coming out. It's going to be Braden Anderson coming away with the checkered in qualifier number 2. 2-time winner Kyle Lear. He'll wind up in 2nd. Frankie Gordon, Ray Cable, and Cody Lear. They'll be the top 5. Top 2 in late model Sportsman points on the front row. Bone Breaking Booze, the defending champion. The 44 is Shoemaker right behind them as we get set to come to the Jesse James Auto Mart start zone tonight here at Hagerstown, our 3rd and final late model Sportsman qualifier. Bone Breaking Booze side by side to the stripe. Booze trying to get the edge on the outside. He'll get it. Off at turn number 2. Bone Breaking is 2nd. Shoemaker up to 3rd. Brown and Zook side by side. Murphy, the 21M, also trying to make his way up to the field. A late entrant after a rain out at a previous track as they work off at turn number 4. It'll be lap number 1 for Booze. Bone Break in 2nd. Shoemaker the top 3. Zook makes it up into 4th. Brown right now will be 5th. Cronice working the high groove. Drayton Lee down bottom. They almost come up with a 3-wide battle with Murphy back there. And Cronice will back off just a little bit. Murphy and Lee side by side as they come back for lap 2. Again, Crate Late Models Heat Race number 1. Crate Late Models Heat Race number 1 to the staging area, please. Lee and Murphy, that's a battle outside the top 5. They are battling for 6th right now as the 5.56 of Cronice heads off into the pit area here at lap number 3. Booz won the battle with Bone Break and hasn't looked back. He holds a solid 5-car length advantage off turn number 2. Shoemaker, meanwhile, Zook was one of his challengers last year in the battle for that championship. And right now they're nose to tail with Zook now looking to the inside. Halfway on the board this time. Zook still trying to chew away down bottom, but Shoemaker's got him covered by a car length and a half. Murphy goes wide. That'll give Trayton Lee the number 6 spot down the back straightaway. 89 at Dylan Brown just in front of them as Booz brings it back to the line. So still a 5-6 car length advantage for Brian Booz. A similar advantage for Bone Break over Shoemaker. Now gets a little breathing room over Ryan Zook with Brown in the 89, the top 5. 2 to go this time by. Front 4 evenly spaced out, and caution on the speedway.
Yellow for debris, yellow for debris.
Green came out those 6 laps, and he's another one hungry for that first late model Sportsman win. He'll have Bone Break to his outside. A repeat of the initial start. Shoemaker and Zook back in row number 2. Brown, Trayton Lee, Murphy in the 21M as we go back to green. Trouble for Brown off turn 4. And that Jesse James Auto Marts caution right back out for the 89. Loops it around at the exit of that 4th turn.
Left rear flag on 89 and Dylan Brown as he streaks down into turn 22. That third off into the speed area here at Lowe's.
Back in that 3rd row. Great late model. He raced number 1 coming up in a few moments.
Drivers, you've got 50 seconds left before you hit the time limit.
All right, green back out as Booz leads it back to the stripe. And Zook gets around Shoemaker and quickly goes to work on Bone Break. Knowing laps are winding down, going to be Booz leading him off at turn number 2. Zook going to get the good run down to that low side. He will draw up alongside the Bone Break machine. And Zook in that 28Z cooking down bottom. Now he hits that rut, goes way wide. Bone Break trying to get to the inside and reclaim second. White flag in the air. That gives Brian Booz maybe about a car length and a half separation. So all that battling didn't give him much comfort zone. But Bone Break and Zook are 2nd and 3rd, and we are coming to the checkered flag. Shoemaker back and forth, Trayton Lee in 5th, and it's going to be the B2. Brian Booz checking in for the late model Sportsman heat race victory. Bone Break will be in 2nd, Zook in 3rd, Shoemaker and Trayton Lee, they'll be your top 5. So far this year, 3 races, 3 different winners. Devin Brennan, Davin Kaiser, and Jacob Witt. Will we see a 4th, or will Jacob Witt be able to do it again? Here we go, the first 6-lap qualifier. Harry coming off of turn number 4. Dill having some issues, and the front 2 get around him. Going to be Jacob Witt. He and Mason Booz make contact off of that 2nd turn. Going to be Witt the leader. Booz right there in 2nd. Here comes Horst to the 29, and the 49 is Ciccarelli side by side for 3rd. 24, the pole sitter Dill dropping back into 5th. Who's going to lead lap number 1? It's tight. Dill trying to catch them back up, but the 33 of Witt will be your leader. Ciccarelli right to the bottom side, makes contact with Booz, and around the 2 of them go. Caution is out on lap 1. All right, Booz getting a green light from his crew members as he pulls away from the pits. Meanwhile, we get set to get back to green. Jacob Witt and the 21, Tyler Horst up front. Green flag back in the air with 1 of 6 laps complete. Witt will lead him. It's going to be Horst to the bottom side. Good run into 1 and 2, and Tyler Horst, the new leader off turn number 2. Witt right on the rear deck lid. Here comes the 11 of Kevin Palmer, side by side with Dill right now. 2x2x2 racing back through the pack from third on back. Here they come. And going to be the 11M making some contact with that 24 at Dill. And they're in a log jam from third on back into turn number 1. 40 of Sweeney now trying to break through. He'll get to the bottom side and up into third. Dill into fourth. McMillan now into fifth. Palmer right there in sixth. Top two, meanwhile, making their way back to the stripe for halfway. Going to be the 21 of Horst and the 33 of Witt. They are the top two. Sweeney, once he got her out of that hornet's nest. And trouble back there for Dill. They are getting impatient. Right now, Ciccarelli and McMillan. They'll go 3 wide off of turn number 2. And McMillan will be to the inside. Ciccarelli to the outside. Dill now back in fifth as Horst brings it back for 2 to go. Top three secure right now. The battle for fourth. It's going to be Ciccarelli up high. McMillan that 0-0 down low. And all the while back to the stripe. White flag in the air for Tyler Horst in the 21. Started on the inside. At row number 3, the Waynesboro, Pennsylvania driver over a turn advantage on the 33 of Jacob Witt. And he's dropping the 40S of Scott Sweeney. May have one more spot left in the bag of tricks as he works to the inside. As we come off at turn number 4, though, going to be Tyler Horst checking in for the Crate Late Model win. Battle for second to the stripe. Witt will get second. Sweeney Jr. will be third. 49 is Ciccarelli and the 0-0 McMillan. They'll round out the top 5. Opperman trying to make it a 3-wide battle into 1 and 2. Contact is made with the 27 of Tingle and half the field. Pretty much up in turn 1 and 2. The 05 of Roy Dees Jr. able to escape, but the 92 of Coe. 27 of Tingle. And Haas and Fluck Incorporated up there as well.
The yellow debris. Kyler Upperman bringing it back to the stripe for halfway. Heat race winner a week ago. And right now third in points. 14C of Chuck Bowie back there in second. Alan Witt Jr. third. Coe in the 92 holding on to fourth. All right, white flag in the air. 5 in the books for Upperman. Right now, third in points and looking for that first Crate Late Model feature event victory. As we mentioned, one of our previous winners in the field tonight. 3 drivers have been here. 3 different ones have won. 14C of Chuck Bowie. He's had some strong runs here at Hagerstown. 19 of Alan Witt led many laps last week, but Upperman checks in for another heat race victory in the Booz Brothers Performance Crate Late Models. 14C of Chuck Bowie will come home in second spot. 19 of Alan Witt and the 92 of Brian Coe. They will be the 4 finishers in our second 6-lap qualifier.
Green flag this time, drivers.
All right, 5 laps of distance here in our limited stock qualifying events as they get set for the Jesse James Auto Mart start zone off of turn number 4. '69 Robbie Carroll from that pole position grabbing the lead. Challenge on for second. 7G Rob Rudisil looking to the inside of Eric Moats down the back straightaway. They stay side by side. The 6 of Matt Worley fast in warm-ups. Not one of the fastest, but one of the fastest. Right now he's on the inside, battling for fourth as it'll be Carroll back to the stripe for lap number 1. '7G of Rudisil checking into that number 2 spot down the back straightaway. Then the 82 of Eric Moats, the outside pole sitter. Challenge right now for third. One car on fire down the back straightaway. Looks like an oil line may have come loose or something, but a lot of flames underneath that machine as he comes to a stop down to the inside of turn number 3.
Stay high in 3, stay high in 3. We had a car on fire.
Well, he parks it right by a couple of our safety crew members, and more are on the way to make sure everything's okay with that driver. Our
one more 6 or 5 lap qualifier coming. 3 to go still in heat race number 1.
69 Robbie Carroll grabbed that lead from the outset. 7G Rob Rudisil Jr. He started third. He's on the outside of row number 1. And then you've got the 82 of Eric Moats, the outside pole sitter. He's on the inside of that second row. Green flag set to go back in the air. Carroll will carry him down into turn number 1 and 2. And there's the 7 of Rudisil, about a car length back in second, side by side. 54, James Farrell, he started on the dead end of the field, outside of row number 4. He's up into third as they come back for 2 laps to go. A side-by-side battle further back. 6 of Matt Worley, he's on the outside of Moats, the outside pole sitter, and give Worley that number 4 position. Everybody's single file right now, and the biggest lead is going to be for your leader, Robbie Carroll. He's got about 5 car lengths over the 7. Rob Rudisil Jr. as they'll come back for the white flag this time. '54 James Farrell having a good run, as we mentioned, on the outside of row 4. The Cumberland, Maryland driver trying to make a run for that number 2 position. Right now, Rudisil's got him covered as Carroll leads him down into turn 3 and 4. It'll be one last-ditch effort for that runner-up spot. But heat race number 1, Robbie Carroll from the front row will take the first qualifier. 7G of Rob Rudisil Jr. winds up in second. Good run for the 54 of James Farrell. Started 8th, finished 3rd. 6 of Matt Worley winds up in 4th. All right, getting set for the final 5-lap qualifier of all qualifying tonight. Intermission coming up next, the redraw on the tire throwing contest, and then featured activity right behind it as they stack up 2x2 off turn number 4. Oh, and one spun. Will he hold on? Yes, he will. Just misses the entrance of that guardrail, and caution quickly right back out. Everybody getting together a little bit off at turn number 4. All right, green flag out. McDaniel taking advantage of that outside spot on the restart. The 15 powers into the number 1 position off turn number 2. Leader's heading down the back straightaway. And quickly, McDaniel flexing that muscle, stretching that lead out back into 3-4 turn. Side-by-side battle for the number 2 position off turn number 4. Lap number 1 of our event here in the second qualifier in the books. 5M of Michael Doyle holding on to that number 2 spot. He was the pole sitter. And right now fending off the efforts of the 81 of Matthew Chronister. Started back on the inside of that final row as they continue to have a side-by-side battle. Going to be McDaniel stretching that lead out here at lap 2. Doyle loses a spot as they come back by. '81 and Matt Chronister is still winding it up down the back straightaway, having himself a very good run right behind them. All right, 2 to go, make it a white flag. This time for Nick McDaniel as he brings that 15 back to the stripe. 32 of Jeff Foster right now running in second spot, coming back to the line. 5 of Malachi Doyle. He was the pole sitter right now running in third as they work the final lap here in the final 5-lap qualifier of the evening. McDaniel looking to keep that good string of success going. He brings the 15 off of turn number 4. And the driver at Littlestown, Pennsylvania, Nick McDaniel, the 15M, taking the second limited stock qualifying event. Matthew Chronister will make it the 32, I should say, of Jeff Foster. He'll wind up in the number 2 spot. Going to be the 5M, Malachi Doyle. He'll hold on into third. 81 and Matthew Chronister will be fourth. Top 5 made up by the 50 of Colin Welsh. All right, down trackside for the redraw of Mr. Dylan Wilson. Come on up. You are first contestant on Roll That Dice. Dylan, good to see you again, my friend. How you doing?
Oh, not too bad. Glad to finally be the one standing out here with quick time. We've struggled at the beginning of this year. That's for sure.
Well, I know it's been up and down, and the one down wasn't a good down, but y'all had a lot of damage. Well, you're back the very next week. Glad to see you here, and glad things are heading back in the right direction for you.
Yeah. That was a nasty hit the first race. It's not real fun when your steering breaks, but we've chased some issues, but it feels pretty good tonight, so I'm hoping we got it figured out.
I got a question for you. Now, you're going to roll the dice. You're going to throw a tire tonight, too? You going to be one of the American daddies throwing a tire? If you could roll that dice, which you haven't yet, it's heavy, you could do a tire. You want to do both?
Sure, I'll throw a tire.
I don't even know who we have that's registered that, but Dylan Wilson, our fast timer out of Cassville, Pennsylvania in the semi-late division. He's going to roll to see what the invert's going to be. It will be 3. Can you live with that?
It's a lot better than 6.
All right, Dylan, good luck tonight.
Thank you.
All right, Dylan Wilson, he won quite a few feature events last year in semi-late, still looking for that first of the 2025 season. Cody, get your tail up here. You know what? I got a lot of grief from Mom up there because I was called Brayden up here because I was looking too far down the list and I was robbing you. Great heat race win tonight.
Thank you. Yeah, the car was pretty good there. Pretty stuck. Car ran good. Hopefully we have a good roll here.
Well, you've been so close because the last couple of feature event races have been, you just look like you're right there. It's just on the verge, and maybe I shouldn't say that because I'm going to jinx it for you. But things are looking good. What's been the difference for you this year?
Yeah, we've been getting better and better each week. We've had Booze Brothers. They helped us out a lot. And we got one of them 525s, so you ain't got one, you better get one.
They are stout indeed. Well, Cody, put that 525 arm up to that dice. Let's see what you can roll. This is the invert for the late model Sportsman. Cody was our first heat race winner. 4. Not too bad. Not too bad.
Nah, we'll take it.
All right, Cody Breeden. He is going to roll off 4 tonight. And he's been rolling tonight. Okay, let's see. Robbie Carroll. Where is Robbie Carroll at? Do we have Robbie here? Our limited stock driver. Here he comes.
Robbie, thanks again for the limited stock guys coming to Hagerstown Speedway. I know the first time out it was a great show. I know they had a big wreck on the back straightaway, but you guys always have a good time. It seems like they have a lot of fun here at the big track.
Yeah, this track's usually, it's usually caution-free features. It's just so big, we have so much room. So it's, I love it.
Okay, I know that Nick picked up the victory last weekend in Lincoln. Matthew won the first time here. Is it your turn?
I hope so. I don't know. I still something's wrong with my car. I pulled off last time, so.
All right. Well, maybe not this time. We're going to let you roll the dice and see where you're going to start and how these limited stock guys will go on the roll of the dice. And, oh, it was so close to that number 1. Robbie going to go up number 6. Don't worry about it. Number 1, we thank you for being here.
Thank you.
All right. Robbie Carroll in our limited stock division draws at number 6, and we've got one person left to go, and who might that be? You got to refresh my... Who is it? Who is it? Let's look. I think it's Tyler Horst. I'm just kidding with you. Hey, Carla, great. That was an impressive heat race win tonight.
Yeah, we were struggling in the slick all year, Winchester, so called Rocket, got some setup tips, and threw it on. Seemed to work, so hopefully we can get a low number here and keep it going.
How's track conditions for you? I know it's always fun when you're up front, but you think things will change much from now until the time? I know you got the late model Sportsmans in front of you, but what is your anticipation, your thought process as you get set for your feature?
I'm thinking it'll probably stay the same, but we'll see.
All right, Tyler, this is your first opportunity. Go ahead and roll that dice, and let's see what the invert's going to be in our Booz Brothers Performance Crate Late Models. Well, he rolls it. Oh, there it is. Tyler, there you go. Number 1 on the board. Congratulations and good luck tonight.
Thank you.
All right, Tyler Horst in our Booz Brothers Performance Crate Late Models rolls at number 1. All right. Who's our first participant? Marcus or? Zach. Zach, go ahead. Sling that tire. Dylan said he'd do it. Dylan said he'd do it. All right, Zach going to give it a shot. See how far he can go with that big old Hoosier tire. I'm going to get dizzy. Look out. Hey, that's pretty good. So, Big Daddy. All right. So, Dylan Wilson is going to try. Marcus is also going to try. Linda's going to try. All right, Marcus, give her a good whirl. Hit Josh as hard as you can with that tire. All right, that's not bad, better than I can do. And now we have our second representative. All right, Dylan Wilson, our Simulate top qualifier. He's going to give it a whirl. Wow, that's a good sling. That's awful close to number 1, too. All right, Dylan, thank you so much. All right, I think we've got all the daddies, the Hoosier daddies. All right, we got another one. What's your name?
James.
James coming to come out. He'll sling it. Huh? How much did he win? $100 went to the Hoosier Daddy. And the longest tire throw. That's a good one. Everybody was pretty much in the same range with each other. Thank you very much. All right, Heather, give it a go. What the heck? By yourself. If I can embarrass myself down here, you do too. Heather Neff going to be our Hoosier Mama tonight, and she's going to sling it, and that is not too bad. Give it up for Heather Neff. All right, field stacking up down in 3 and 4, getting set for the first of 4 feature events tonight. 15 laps. So far, several different winners in Simulate action. Only one that is with us tonight, and that's Brian Kearns, and he's going to have his hands full. Brady Neff and Dylan Wilson. Neff gets the lead. Wilson already underneath the Kearns off turn 2.
70 Grady raising that left front wheel up just a little bit. He's back there in fourth. Wilson quickly on the attack. He is trying to go for that lead. Neff will lead him back to the stripe for lap number 1. Wilson down to the bottom. Going to be Kern swinging way wide. He'll hold on to third. Leaders back for lap number 2. Top 3 remain fairly tight. Going to be a car length at best for Brady Neff. 65 of Wilson, really with a good surge in turn number 1. Slides right up in front of Neff. He'll do the crossover. Right underneath of him he goes, and Neff will reassume that number 1 spot. But here comes Wilson showing the horses on the outside. He and Neff make a little contact. You can see it, and Neff has got some right front damage in that 30. And looks like he's going to drop off. Didn't realize one other car was there and slams into the 70 of Michael Grady. And even more damage on the 30. All right, heading to the Jesse James Auto Mart restart zone. Here we go. Wilson and Kearns heading us back to green. All right, green back out. Dylan Wilson quickly extinguishes that number 1 spot away from the 83 at Kearns. Opens up about a 3-car length advantage. Swiger in the 34. He'll be third. Grady in the 70. Body damage. Back car looking good. He's right now in fourth as Mills in the 25, rounding out the top 5 with 4 laps complete. Grady trying, but not quite the line he needs as he was digging down bottom and the car got a little out of shape, so he'll stay behind Swiger by a few car lengths. As Wilson brings us to the 1/3 mark in our 15-lap main event. 5 in the books, 10 to go for the Cassville, Pennsylvania driver. 83 at Kearns remains in second. And Grady will spin it. Again, trying way down low in turn 1 and 2. This time it cost him as he went around. No contact, but brings out the latest caution here at lap number 5. All right, field stacking up again, headed to the Jesse James Auto Mart restart zone. One more time, Wilson and Kearns off turn 4. Getting up through the gearbox quickly for Dylan Wilson. He'll leave that bottom a little bit open, but Kearns wasn't really there to take advantage. He's right on the bumper off a 2, but then it's going to be Wilson showing the horses, opening up a few car lengths advantage in turn 3 and 4. 34 Swiger remains in the 3rd spot. Here comes Grady in the 70 on the outside, and he'll claim that position off turn number 4 and set his sights on the top 2. Wilson leading him off in the 3-4 turn. Lap number 7 about to be complete as we near the halfway point in tonight's 15-lap main event. 83 of Kearns remains in second. Grady in third. Going to be Swiger in fourth. And the 25 of Mills making up the top 5. Late model Sportsmen for your main event. You can head to the stage and area. Late model Sportsman drivers for your main event to the stage and area, please. Halfway on the board that time for Dylan Wilson in the 65. We mentioned several different winners in simulate action this year. Alan Brannon took the opener back on the first race of the year, which was non-points. 81 of Jason Giesemann. Likewise, he claimed victory number 2. And then Steve Kent grabbed a victory. Brian Kearns found his way to victory lane. Then Kent came back to life and picked up the second win, which is the only driver that's had more than one victory so far this year. And the 21 of Jason Stoner. He is in the pits, and unfortunately Jason, who had a good run during warm-ups, that was it. Did not come out for qualifying. He was a scratch for the rest of the night and would have been a heavy candidate possibly to become the next repeat winner. But all the while, it's going to be the 65 of Wilson, no stranger to victory lane here at Hagerstown Speedway, looking to become the 6th different winner in 2025. 10 in the books that time by, 5 to go. Wilson's lead about 7 car lengths off at turn number 2. Grady in the 70 remains in 3rd. Swiger and Mills, the top 5. Again, late model Sportsman. Your main event is next. You can make your way to the staging area. Wilson working back down into 3 and 4. The 25 of Mills giving him plenty of racing room as he comes upon him off at turn number 4 down the straightaway. Kearns in the 83 comfortably in that 2nd spot. 70 of Grady likewise in 3rd. 34 of Swiger in 4th. They'll be coming to the 2 to go indication this time by. 34 as Swiger has issues, sounded motor related, and he pulls off into the back pit area. We look for the white flag this time for Dylan Wilson off of turn number 4 as he comes back. Again, 5 different winners in simulate action. The class has not been overly strong this year, but whatever shows up, other than Steve Kent, nobody can really get on a roll. The competition, what is here, has always been very strong, and Wilson becoming the latest candidate as he works it back in turn 3 and 4. And the Cassville, Pennsylvania driver will claim his first of the year as Dylan Wilson scores in simulate action. The 83 of Brian Kearns coming up in 2nd. 70 of Michael Grady will wind up in 3rd. 25 of Jeremy Mills will be the top 4 finishers. As he exits the car, folks, give it up, the first of the year for Dylan Wilson in the 65. And there's the other piece of good news as he goes over. He's the proud dad of a new baby as well. Congratulations to Dylan Wilson. I want to know who's going to do the talking. Now, what's this little one's name?
This little one's name's Sophia.
Sophia. Well, welcome to Hagerstown Speedway, young one. Daddy got a victory. Boy, it's been a pretty good month for you.
Yeah. She just turned 4 weeks old last Sunday, and I was really wanting to get a victory lane picture with her since she was born. So I'm really happy to be able to do it so early.
Well, that's pretty awesome. Hey, good race tonight. I know a good challenge with Brady Neff down at 3, but that car looked like it was on rails the rest of the way.
Yeah, it was pretty good. A lot closer to what it was last year. There's still a little room for improvement. It was wanting to shove the right front off, and I tripped up a couple times. I kept thinking the 83 was going to drive by me, but I think me and the 30 got together a little bit when we were going for lead, and I apologize to him for that. That was not my intention.
Well, don't feel bad, because when we went back by, that wasn't a result of your damage. When you saw him sitting over in turn number 4, that was an unfortunate incident later on. But yeah, that was good hard racing.
Yeah, it was definitely fun, and I'm glad to see Neff have a good run. He's had some tough luck, so it's good to see him have a fast car. I hope he gets it back together, and I'm just glad to finally be able to stand up here this year. And funnily enough, I checked the dates. Our first win last year was 6-1, and today's 5:31, so it's the exact same weekend I won my first race last year.
Well, that's kind of hard to believe, but given the competitive nature of the Simulate class a year ago, that makes sense. When I think about a lot of the names that were here last year, that makes it tough. And we mentioned a few moments ago, not like we have an overwhelming amount. I wish we had stronger, but you got 6 different winners. Whoever does show up, that one driver isn't just walking away with it. There are some very strong contenders with who you have to deal with here.
Oh, yeah. I mean, any week, anybody can show up here. I mean, you've got the 1C, the 81, the 21. I'm not sure what happened to him tonight, but there's no shortage of fast guys, even if we don't have that many cars. I'd like to see the car count get up a little bit, but and hopefully we can draw some more cars, but the cars we do have are fast.
Dylan, who would you like to thank tonight?
First off, as always, my dad, Brian, Jim, Zane, they're with me every week. My fiance for putting up with it. We got engaged over the winter, and for all the time I spend, especially with the little one, it's difficult. Sleep's a luxury. Bollinger Builders, Sega Racing Engines, Munn Trucking, Purdy Trucking, Roosted Chassis, Fairweather Farms. Man, I'm out of practice at this. Kai Swanger Trucking, Wilson's Outdoor Power, Ray's Removal, and I really just got to give another shout out to Ryan Sager, because this thing, I mean, when it's hooked up, this thing goes up the straightaways, and he gets us all our parts. I wouldn't be standing here without him.
Well, what you got in your right hand is probably pretty fun to have, but I think what in your left hand tonight is the big prize for not only the night, but for the rest of your life.
Yeah, I'm definitely glad to be able to be holding both, and hopefully she grows up with an interest in it, and we'll have her out here one day.
All right, Dylan Wilson, your latest semi-late winner, and a new baby girl right there as well. Congratulations.
All right, as Dylan gets his accolades.
Oh, tough break right off the bat. The 99 BA Cody Lear. Great runs in the last couple races and pulls in early. 94 Brandon Bard, B2 Brian Booz lead us. We get set. 20 laps coming up for the late model Sportsmen as they hit the Jesse James Auto Mart restart zone. Well, field off into one. They're going to get jumbled up just a little bit, but they'll gather it up. Could have been ugly off a 2. As Bard leads that hard charge down into turn 3 and 4. The first of 20 about to go in the books. Brian Booz in the second. Braden Anderson, Cody Braden, and Kyle Lear right now the early top 5. Bone break into 37, working the high line off turn number 2. Point leader and one-time winner against the two-time winner. They're side by side in the battle for 5th. Lear down bottom, and Bone break works it to the outside. Just in front of them, Cody Lear. They get Cody Breeden and the 25 of Braden Anderson, and going to be Breeden powering by on the outside. He'll claim that 3rd spot down the back chute. Anderson back in 4th, Bone break in 5th, top 2 right now. Going to be Bard and Booz working their way back. Well, Bone break, when he picked up his victory, he played high, low, he went everywhere and got a win. The very next race, he had to go through the LCQ to get in. Tonight, powering up into 5th position. Only gaining 1 spot. It's a very tough late model Sportsman field, as the 5.56 of Eric Kronice also puts his car into pits. Good run early for Brandon Bard in that number 94. Driver out of Greencastle, PA. Looking sharp off turn 4. Booz of the B2 in 2nd. 14 of Breeden holding on to 3rd. Lear not done. Bone break got around him, and he's staying well within striking distance. And trouble on the front straightaway.
Stay high on the front stretch. Stay high on the front
Contact is made.
stretch.
28Z, Ryan Zook. And he's got some damage on the front of that machine.
Drivers, green flag, 94, you restart the race at the poles.
All right, 2x2, here we go. Going to be Bard. Trying for it again. Booz in the B2 on the outside. Breeden Anderson back in row number 2. Bone break, Lear. Strong field of late model Sportsman drivers get set as we go back to green. And here goes Booz on the outside. Breeden down to the long side. And Brian Booz of the B2 will get that lead. Breeden tucking away on the inside. as he draws even with Bard down the back straightaway. Bone Break and Anderson, they're pretty much side by side down the back straightaway. And that battle for second, give it to Breeden off turn number 4. But here comes Bard fighting back hard on the outside, and he will be the number 2 man in the line. And Badling's letting Brian Booz slip away a little bit. It's Breeden down low. Bard up high. Braden Anderson, he's got the number 4 spot. Almost a 3-wide battle. Here comes DJ Myers. He's coming to life. He got around Lear. He wants a piece of Bone Break as they work off turn 4. Breeden now gets the number 2 spot this time off turn 4. So the 94 Bard back into third. 25 of Anderson. Then the 37 of Bone Break. That makes up the top 5. Myers around Lear. He'll go into 6th. Lear in 7th. Atherton 8th. Shoemaker 9th. And the 92 of Frankie Gordon rounding out the top 10. Bone Break now trying that high line. He worked that on Brian Booz a few weeks ago and getting that victory, but can't quite seal the deal on Anderson. They are a tight 4th and 5th right now as Booz brings it back for lap number 9. Trouble, it's going to be Anderson in turn 4. Caution, back out. The Jesse James Auto Mart yellow flag waves again. Their first victory along with the 94 of Brandon Bard back in third. Bone Break will be on the outside of row number 2, Myers and Lear. That's a staunch row number 3. 44 of Sean Shoemaker, 19 of Danny Atherton. We are 1 lap shy of halfway. Green is out, and Booz will get the lead 3 wide for the number 3 spot. Myers to the bottom. Going to be Bard in the middle, and Bone Break up top. Here comes Lear. He's not done either. It stays 3 wide down the back straightaway. Bone Break trying to make that top groove work, and Myers, he has been on the move in that 70J machine. He tries to snare the 3rd spot away. Bard and Bone Break, Lear, they're all there. You can put a sheet of paper between them as they make their way back in the ongoing battle for 3rd. Booz and Breeden pulling away. Going to be Bard for the moment getting that 3rd spot. Now it's going to be Bone Break working the outside of Myers. And they're right on behind the 94 of Bard as they come back for lap number 11. Bard, a little unusual line, climbing the banking, trying to hold that car down. Not going to work, and Bone Break gets a spot, but caution
The yellow
is
debris
back out.
in 3 and 4. Debris in 3 and 4.
And we've got debris in turn 3 and 4 for the yellow at lap 11. Bone Break, Ray Cable the third, and last weekend Spike Moore came away with the win. If it stood right now, 3, the top 3, that would be another new winner. Who's it going to be? Or is Bone Break, Myers, or Lear going to spoil the party for the front 3? Here we go. 11 down, 9 to go here in tonight's Late Model Sportsman main event. Bard kicks it sideways off at turn 4. That opens the door for Myers. He goes underneath. Lear to the high side, and now back in 6th position. They are side by side by side. Here comes Shoemaker to the inside of Bard. Myers and Lear, they're fighting side by side for the number 4 spot. Battles all throughout the top 10. Single file for the top 3. Going to be Booz bringing it back to the line. Naked Breeden right now as the 14 has got that lead here on lap 12. Fair Play Maryland driver picking up the heat race victory. Last couple of weekends, very strong. Booz in the B2 likewise. Bone Break, the point leader. He's on the hunt. Myers, the one-time winner to the inside of Lear. They continue their battle for the number 4 position. Atherton brings a 19 up into 6th as the leaders are back for 13 complete. Matt Murphy with a good run. That 21M, he's back in 7th position. 8th on the track right now. The 44 is Shoemaker. He's dropped a few spots. 94 a Bard, and then the 25K, powered by Ray Cable III. Closing in on 5 to go. This is lap 14. Cody Breeden has got him back into turn number 1 and 2. He opens up about a 4 to 5 car length advantage over Brian Booz. Another 3 back to Bone Break, and then a good gap back to Myers and Lear. Everybody single file. Atherton likewise in 6th. The battle for 7th Shoemaker and Murphy side by side. 5 laps to go this time by. Top 5 still secure in their spots right now. The ongoing battles for 6. Atherton makes the move around Murphy, and Shoemaker in the 44 is right there likewise. 16 complete. Great late models for your main event to the staging area. Great late model drivers for your main event to the staging area, please. Once in front, Cody Breeden is stretching that advantage out as Booz sees a 37, a bone break. Only a car length or so behind. Back in 3rd position. As 17 go in the book. 70J of DJ Myers remains about a half straightaway back in 3rd. The 151 of Lear is in 4th. Shoemaker's come back to life. He's gotten around Atherton and Murphy. And that puts him back up into the 6th spot. Murphy in 7th, Atherton 8th, Bard, the pole sitter, in 9th, and the 27, Lee Ziegler, the top 10. 2 laps to go for Cody Breeden. Gap closing just a little bit, only about 4 to 5 car lengths. Brian Booz still in striking distance. Wes Bonebreak likewise. As the leaders make their way off turn 3 and 4. White flag in the air this time by. Final lap off turn number 2. No lap traffic to deal with. A good line for Cody Breeden. Booz had some troubles off that second turn. Bonebreak going to challenge, and that's going to open the door for Cody Breeden to breathe a little bit more. He'll pick up his first late model Sportsman win. Cody Breeden taking the checkered flag tonight. Brian Booz, Wesley Bonebreak, DJ Myers, and Kyle Lear. They'll be your top 5 at tonight's 20-lap feature event. Well, it's only been a matter of time, and the last few weeks speak volumes. The 14 of Cody Breeden checks in for his first late model Sportsman win. Make it work, and he did. And there is Cody Breeden, your first time late model Sportsman winner here at Hagerstown Speedway. Boy, that steering wheel is going to need an aspirin in the morning. But a lot of well-wishers down here. It's been a long time coming for this young driver out of Fairplay, Maryland, who scores that victory. Got mad because I didn't call you up for the redraw, and you made me pay for it. What a performance. I was watching something else. When you got to the line, I thought Booz was still in the lead. You snuck by him. I didn't even see it. Tell me about your run tonight.
Yeah, I knew if I could get a good start on Brian and get to his outside getting into turn 1, I knew I had the power line, and we got in there, and I just stuck her in there in this car. Oh my gosh. It was just great all night.
Did you even have to touch anything after the heat race tonight, or was a track in that kind of condition where you guys said leave it be?
Nah, we changed some stuff. The track got a little more brown. Moisture started coming back out, so we had to change a little bit. But other than that, we don't change much on this car, and it's always good.
You know, when you look at the line, when they go by single file, I'm looking at Bonebreak, Booz, Lear, DJ Meyer, Sean Shoemaker, Ryan Zook. All these names, and these are some stout competitors in late model Sportsman competition. Let's add the name Breeden in there likewise.
Oh yeah, definitely. It ain't easy out here in this class. These guys they've probably been racing longer than I've been alive, so it means a lot to me to be able to get out here and run up front with them and have a good week.
Who would you like to thank tonight?
My mom.
You can collect your thoughts, that's for sure. Carmen, you want to tell him? Who would you like to thank, Carmen? I couldn't even get Carmen to come down for the Hoosier Mama tire throwing contest, but you won 4 anyway, right?
Yeah, I did. I'd like to thank my mom and dad. We spent everything on my racing, and I couldn't have this without those. Them, my girlfriend, Deacon, Luther, Wise Construction, Ellsworth Electric, A-Bargain Towing, Booz Brothers, Ingram Race Engines, F525 is the best motor I've ever had. And my Aunt Lou and Reliable Towing, Klein's Autobahn.
You're cheating.
I am. It's been a while.
That's okay. Hey, you know what? Last week, and I know you guys, ironically or coincidentally, we park almost side by side out in the parking lot. And last week, after that great performance, I was looking for you. You were over in the passenger seat. I said, "You're close. It's coming." Did you believe that it was going to come that quick the very next week?
I didn't think it was going to be the next week, but I knew it was coming soon. I work on this car all week, bust my ass every week, and it just feels so good to finally win and be up front.
Well, I'm going to step out of the way because there's a lot of people who want to get some hugs from you. Great job, Cody. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, Cody Breen, your latest late model Sportsman winner here at Hagerstown Speedway.
Hello, stay high in 1 and 2, stay high in 1 and 2. Bringing it back, bringing it back. Leader needs to start the race. 27, you're gonna go back 2 rows. Try this again. 21, you start the race at the poles. Stay high coming out of 4, stay high coming out of 4. Yellow, yellow, stay high coming out of 4. Yellow, yellow, stay high in 2, stay high in 2. Yellow, yellow, stay high in 2. Stay high in 4, stay high in 4. .33, you're clear to come down. 33, you're clear to come down. Yellow, yellow, stay low in 4. Yellow, yellow, stay in low in 4. clear to come down. 6, you're clear to come down.